Shanti. Vedamanuchacharyam Devasina Manushasti Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara Swadhyayarma Pramadaha Acharyaya Priyam Dhanamahritya Prajatantum Mavyavachetsi Satyanna Pramaditavyam Dharmanna Pramaditavyam Kushalanna Pramaditavyam Bhutyena Pramaditavyam Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam Na Pramaditavyam Deva Vitrakaryabyam Na Pramaditavyam Matra Devo Bhava Mitra Devo Bhava Acharya Devo Bhava Atiti Devo Bhava Yanyanavadyani Karmani Tani Sevitavyani No Itarani Yanyasmakagam Sucharitani Tani Tvayopasyani No Itarani Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurabhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
We had a wonderful year, and I think particularly this past the virtual classes, the online classes were in my mind extremely fulfilling, because we were able to do some great meditations, do some reflective work, and a topic from chapter 8 of the Bhagavad Gita. And we ended the session with a couple of Om meditations, which we did in class, and also special sessions with our graduates for the Om meditation. I would like to continue that in some form in July, or maybe end of June, July, because if at all there's one thing one could carry away, that is the ability to meditate and work through things. So that's one thing I wanted to share.
I've known Dia since I was 2 years old from our temple, and at that time we weren't the closest, maybe because we were only 2. But when I was around 6 or 7, my mom told Dia's mom about YICG and said she should come as well. And ever since then, Dia's been coming to YICG with me. And we became so close from this experience, and I have so many memories of how every single Saturday we'd meet up and just talk and laugh, and our friendship grew so strong. One of my favorite memories with her was when we went to public speaking on Mondays, and for every single skit, pretty much we would do British accent for no reason, and it made everyone laugh. Another memory was working countless hours on our game Speak Up for Games for Seva, and the accomplishment we both felt when it was produced was amazing. Dia is one of my best friends at YICG, and going to these classes only made our friendship stronger. I'm so proud of Dia. She's going to UConn in the fall, and I'm proud of all of her accomplishments in school and at YICG. I consider Dia to be almost a sister to me because of all the memories we created together. I couldn't imagine going through all these years at YICG with anyone else, and I know she's going to do the amazing things in the future because of her sweet personality and her flexibility and ability to make everyone laugh. Love you, Dia.
I've been attending classes at YICG since I was 8 years old. I experimented with many classes such as Hindi class. However, I stuck with Vedic, and now I'm here. I started off hating Vedic. I thought that the information was useless and that I couldn't do anything with the stories I was learning. Sheetal Auntie, Jayanti Auntie, Raji Auntie, and Rati Auntie's classes have taught me that there's so much more to these stories. These stories teach us about our ancestors and our culture. They also teach us how to live and enjoy life, regardless of the situation we are in. Now, I am able to take the lessons that I learned from Vedic and apply them in my life. Public speaking classes changed my life. Before these classes, I was really shy. However, the random skits and activities allowed me to step out of my bubble. The skills I learned in public speaking got me through all the projects in middle and high school. I've been involved in Games for Seva ever since it started. I remember all the countless meetings during our summer vacation at Nishant Uncle's house, eating paninis and brainstorming. Before we knew it, our ideas had become a game, Karna's Karma. This game was the beginning of my journey at Games for Seva. Through Games for Seva, I have learned many techniques in marketing and business, and I've learned to be patient. It takes a lot of hard work to create these games, and not every idea becomes a game. I want to thank Madhu Auntie and Pranav for helping us out and being there and always being here for us. Vedic with Rati Auntie has been some of my most fun and interesting years. Sorry, Rati Auntie, by driving you crazy every week by how much me and all of us talked during Vedic when we weren't supposed to, or how we always tried to communicate across the room, even when you made us move our seats. All jokes aside, I have learned leadership skills from you. You have seen me grow from public speaking to Vedic and Games for Seva. Thank you so much for being here for me, no matter what, and rewarding us with small prizes, such as Kit Kats, to motivate us to be the best versions of ourselves. YICG has given me so many benefits that I will never be able to find anywhere else. YICG is one of the best decisions that my parents have made for me. By coming to this place every Saturday, I've created lifelong friendships with all these amazing people, whose memories I will love and cherish forever. We started off as strangers, and now we are all family, hanging out not only in class and roaming the Herrick's middle school halls until the janitors practically kick us out, but outside of class as well. Along with lifelong friendships, I have learned so much. I've learned to think positively and learned many skills, such as meditation, that I can use in college and more. YCG has allowed me to be the best version of myself, and I'm thankful for all of you.
I have known Isha my entire life. She was my first roommate and my first best friend. When I was 1, I decided it would be a good idea to pull on my sister's hair. Isha decided to pay me back by giving me a haircut. Even at the age of 3, Isha's attention to detail was evident because not only did she put a towel around my shoulders, she also brought a trash can to get rid of the cut hair. Needless to say, Mom was extremely mad and she grounded the 3 of us, Isha, myself, and our babysitter, Dad. Isha is the most hardworking and creative person I have ever met. She is dedicated to finishing her work on a set schedule. Isha creates some of the best artwork I have ever seen. From Memory Maya to creating a winning masterpiece at the Olympics of the Visual Arts, I have seen Isha's wonderful creations firsthand. Isha helps me with a lot, from helping me review chemistry to figuring out when the 4:30 bus arrives. Isha's hard work and dedication has paid off as she is now enrolled in the Hofstra Combined Medical Program, where she will follow her dreams of becoming a doctor. Isha, you are the most annoying sister ever. You are my role model. I love you, and I wish you all the luck in college, where I know you will shine like the superstar you are. Thank you, Ria, and I love you too. My time at YICG has helped me discover my culture and change my comprehension of the world around me. My love for art has taught me that an open mind is truly required to appreciate it, similar to the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. While the translation of verses remains the same, the meaning of these teachings changed as I grew older. Since I started attending YICG in first grade, my perception of life has changed dramatically, which comes with meeting different people, exploring different interests, and discovering who I am. During my time with Raji Auntie and Rati Auntie, I have learned the importance of integrating the morals from my Vedic studies with my interpretation of life. Undoubtedly, my favorite part of Vedic class was meditation, and also getting free candy. Although this consisted of a small portion of the actual class, meditation has allowed me to approach problems with a calm and collected composure. Instead of being overwhelmed by the problems I encounter, I eagerly approach problems with the hope of solving them instead of shying away from them. Whether it be deciding the premise for an art piece or extrapolating the meaning of a set of data, I am eager to undertake any project that comes my way. During my time at Hofstra, I will be faced with many adversities, but with the knowledge I gained from all my teachers, especially Raji Auntie, Madhu Auntie, and Rati Auntie, I hope to overcome any challenge that I encounter. The road to becoming a physician is not an easy one, but with a composed demeanor, I can influence the world around me in a positive manner. From studying the Bhagavad Gita to dancing to the beats of Bollywood music, I have been exposed to different aspects of my Indian heritage, opening my eyes to two different worlds, the one I was born into and the one I inherited. I am excited for what the future holds. Good luck to my fellow graduates. I know we will do great things in the future.
Manavalu, what can I say about the 7'4", 300 bobblehead? Manav is by far one of the strangest people I know, but unfortunately, for the many times I can recall to make fun of the big giant, I have to be nice because Manav actually pays for my Spotify premium. But I will share some of my favorite memories with Money Manav. They come from easily one of my favorite summoners, which is AVG 2018. I also have never shared these stories with Rati Auntie or Madhu Auntie, so Manav, be prepared for what comes next. As young teenage boys at a retreat, we were quite desperate to eat something that wasn't out of the cafeteria. So what did Manav do exactly? He took a bunch of Oreos, put them in the microwave, took them out, and called them S'moreos. What a genius, right? Another time, we were at someone else's cabin late at night, and before we could leave, it started pouring and thundering. One of our friends realized she'd left her charger in the Games for Save Center at the retreat, and without any discussion, Manav took off in the pouring rain just to get someone's charger. This man came back soaked with a big dumb smile on his face, and yes, with the charger in his hand. That same night, in the basement of that cabin, Manav found an electric wheelchair. And do you guys know where this is headed? Manav did not hesitate to jump on, race down the hallway as fast as that wheelchair could go.
Oh my God.
We ended up staying in that cabin with our friends talking all night until 4. So Manav and I found some dirty mattresses and covers and slept over. We passed out. I, like any normal human, was caught and woken up by Madhu Auntie at 2 p.m. the next day. But Manav, on the other hand, woke up at 8 to go do his workout. Thanks a lot, kid. But with all jokes aside, Manav is one of the most hardworking people I know. From being a scholar to an athlete and a SoundCloud rapper, Manav truly does it all. I'm going to miss being his personal trainer, producer, and seeing his dumb smile in the hallways at school, and most importantly, being his little bro. All luck to you at Brown and beyond. Can't wait for the big things you do. And that's Manavalu, everybody.
Thank you, Krish. So the only reason I've willingly come to YICG all these years was to play basketball. After class, I'd play basketball until my mom threatened to leave and go home without me. If it wasn't for basketball, I don't think I would have ever come to YICG, but I'm glad I did go. I've learned a lot and have become a better person as a result. In Jayanti Auntie and Raji Auntie's class, I started my education on Indian culture, and I started to explore my own heritage. While I may have thought all I was thinking about was basketball, and frankly I was, there was always a small part of me that was paying attention, and the small tidbits of information and lessons that I picked up have shaped me into the person I am today. Although it may not have seemed like it, I really enjoyed every minute of those classes. By the time I got to Raji Auntie's class, we were only allowed to play basketball after 4, thanks to Rajiv Uncle, and I stopped showing up. Anyone who was in her class with me knows that I show up about 4 or 5 times a year. 6, but the auntie's lucky. I didn't need to go to more than 5 classes, but the auntie was just that good of a teacher. In the classes that I would attend, I began to understand the purpose of her class, learning to be more mindful and caring. Studying the Gita taught me the importance of self-knowledge and disciplined action, and Rati Auntie has left a profound impact on me. Whether it was being in her Vedic class or working for her at Games for Seva, seeing Rati Auntie was always a treat, both literally and figuratively. During our Games for Seva sessions, I would have lots of fun, and she would always bring several snacks to make it all worthwhile. I am forever indebted to her for everything that she's done for me. YICG has given me a place where I can meet people who are just like me, and I've met some of my best friends. YICG has shaped me into the person I am today, and I'm incredibly grateful to all the teachers, fellow students, as well as the other parents, who I owe a great deal of thanks to, because you all have impacted my journey and made it what it was. And I owe even greater thanks to my mom for forcing me to come to YICG all these years.
Thank you, Manu.
All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anushka. Allow me to introduce Nia, my best friend since childhood. Nia and I have known each other long enough to remember when I used to be taller than her. Clearly, that didn't last. But what has lasted, even after all these years, has been my admiration for someone so kind and dedicated. Whether it be mediating a fight between me and my brother, or convincing Patel Brothers to sponsor a team dance fundraiser to raise money for Alzheimer's research, Nia has proven time and time again just how incredible she can be. Very few people I know have the drive to succeed that she does. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that Nia is graduating early and attending the St. Bonaventure's medical program next school year. Take it from me, without a shadow of a doubt, she's going places. I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to know Nia, though I'll never really know what I did to deserve such an amazing friend. I'm going to miss her dearly when she leaves, and I have no idea how I'm surviving senior year without her. But I know for a fact that she'll have a bright future. Thank you.
First, I would like to thank Anushka for introducing me. She has been my ride or die since day one, and I know that I can depend on her for anything. I genuinely do not know what I'm going to do in college when she's not just a short car ride away. I would also like to thank my grandparents who left their home in India to help take care of me. I would also like to thank my mom. She's been my #1 fan ever since I can remember. You're my main support system, and I cannot imagine my life without you. Also, thank you, Mom, for enrolling me in YICG dance classes because you were terrified when you saw me dance when I was 6 and thought those classes were my last hope. Her words, not mine. When I was younger, I lived in a town with very few Indians. I was so insecure about my identity, and one particular incident that still stands out to me was when my mom decided to explain what a tanning salon was to me. I then asked if there was such a thing as a peaching salon because I was so insecure about my skin color. So when I was in kindergarten, my mom decided to enroll me in Vedic and dance classes in YICG. I suddenly found a place where I felt like I fit in. They exposed me to a place where so many people took pride in calling themselves Indian. I went from a girl who was insecure about her skin color and her culture to becoming that girl who won't shut up about being Indian. I always looked forward to the weekends where I could attend Odissi classes with Mala Auntie to doing ice cream meditations with Ravi Auntie and Vedic. Thank you to all the aunties and uncles who were always role models for me and made me feel like YICG was my second home. Thank you to the teachers for giving up your Sundays to teach. Specifically, I would like to thank Ravi Auntie herself. She's always been such an incredible role model for me. She's always willing to take care of her students, and she's put so much work into making YICG the organization that it is today. I would also like to thank Madhu Auntie. She's always been willing to help with Vedic and Games for Seva, and those games would definitely not be the same without your creative input. I want to thank Mala Auntie, my Odissi dance teacher. She's been such a big part of my life for the last few years and treats her students like their second family. I would not be half the person I am today without any of these teachers. Lastly, I want to thank all my YICG friends. One of the things that made YICG so memorable for me was the friends that I made there. They were the ones who made me feel like YICG was my family. And even though we don't all attend the same schools, whenever we come to YICG together, we always find a way to make trouble. We always know that we can depend on each other. And I know that I've made friends at YICG that will last a lifetime. There's no one else I would rather hang out at gazebos, eat magic masala chips, microwave Oreos, or complain about the endless piles of Kumon homework that we get every week than with these guys. I'm gonna miss all of you. Thank you.
Rajat has been one of my closest friends for as long as I can remember. From preschool to high school, he's been there with me, and we've been able to create some great memories together, and I wouldn't trade our friendship for the world. If you know Rajat, you'll know he's an incredibly hard worker. Whether it's a school project or Games to Save at work, he always puts 100% into whatever it is he's doing. And if you really know Rajat, you'll know that everything I just said is a complete lie. At the camp for Games to Save, Radianti gave us all several different assignments. She expected us to be ready to work at 9 o'clock every morning. And every morning we would all gather at 9 ready to work. And what do you know? Rajat wasn't there. An hour passed, 2 more went by, and all of a sudden he walks in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's straggling in wearing his pajamas 5 hours after we were supposed to meet. This wasn't just a one-day thing. Every single day he would wake up ready to work at 2 o'clock when the rest of us would have already been working for hours on end. As you can see, his work ethic is unmatched. But the auntie wouldn't let his behavior slide, of course, and so she gave him one of, if not the, hardest assignments anyone got. He had to take a book full of quotes and type them into a spreadsheet. He didn't have to read the quotes, didn't have to analyze them. All he had to do was blindly type words from a book into a computer. Incredibly challenging work, and I have no idea how he managed to do that. It really was something only Rajat could handle. While he may give everyone a hard time, he always comes through in the end. Last year, Rajat took the initiative to get every senior member of Games to Seva a presidential award for 2019. Surprisingly, he did this all by himself, and nobody made him do it. It is this kind of initiative that he will bring with him to Berkeley and prepare him for success. Rajat has been an amazing friend to me. He's been by my side for over 14 years, and I'm sad that I'm going to have to part ways with him after high school. But I wish him the best of luck, and I know he's going to be doing amazing things in the future.
I don't know if that was a good speech or a bad speech, but I'll try to take it the first way. My time at YICG was extremely special to me. At first, I didn't know why I was going. I would sit in the back of Vedic and Hindi classes nearly every week. Not a single word came out of my mouth because, to be frank, I never felt comfortable. It's pretty evident that things have changed since then. I'm confident that without Roti Auntie's public speaking class, I would not be where I am today. I went in as a quiet kid, and I left as arguably the most talkative person in this class, for better or worse. I learned how to adapt to different environments and captivate audiences. I found joy in telling stories and making jokes. Not a single class would go by where we didn't start laughing hysterically. My experiences in public speaking made me who I am today, a loud, energetic, and loving person. Additionally, my years in Vedic have changed how I view the world. At first, it felt like I was only going to play basketball, but by the end, I realized I was going because I enjoyed every second of being with Rati Auntie and all my peers. Every week was an adventure, from the lessons I learned to the friends I made. The values all my teachers have taught me have been essential in my life. Respect, hard work, and self-resilience are the most important values I've learned in class, and I know that I'll be better fit across the country and thousands of miles away from my family at UC Berkeley because of them. I want to thank everyone at YICG. Throughout the auntie, all the other teachers, and all my fellow graduates, thank you for giving me a second family. I always resented learning on Saturdays, but looking back on it, I wouldn't have spent it any other way. Thank you.
So I have the honor of introducing one of my best friends and by far the kindest person that I know, Sachita. She's the friendliest, most genuine person I've ever met. I've never seen her without a huge Sachita smile on her face. She's the first person that I met at YICG, and she welcomed me into her friend group even though I was new and I didn't know anybody there. She made me feel safe and comfortable in a new environment, and is probably one of the biggest reasons why YICG has become so special to me. She's also got the biggest, most giving heart of anybody I know. I'm sure everybody knows about her organizing Dance to End Alzheimer's last year, and she puts that kind of energy into everything. The hard work that I've seen her do is unmatched. I don't know anybody else who could have done it. Sachita has more motivation than anybody else I've ever met too, because I could never do that. And when she's passionate about something, she does not rest until it gets done. Next year, Sachita is going to be attending NYU, and I sincerely know that she's going to thrive there and do amazing things with her future.
Thank you, Yukta. I'm gonna miss you so much. Hi everyone. I am lucky to have been part of YICG since I was 6 years old. When I first joined Vedic, I started my first class with Pavna Auntie, where we would always have the opportunity to dig in her big bag of toys. Then Jyoti Auntie, where we would always eat her amazing brownies. Then Jayanti Auntie, where of course we played her creative and unique games to win points. Raji Auntie, where we had the famous cricket days and game days. And then finally Rati Auntie, where we would always receive candy. So if anything, I definitely learned through these Vedic years how to win candy and prizes. But in all seriousness, I am extremely grateful for all my years of Vedic. And with these wonderful teachers, I learned so much about my culture and made amazing close friends along the way. I must say, I will never forget the memories I've made in Raji Auntie's class. Raji Auntie taught me how to apply the values of our culture to my own life. Through her class, I learned how to be a better person and a better community member. I was always interested to learn in Raji Auntie's class, and I especially loved the debates on different cultural values and life lessons. Raji Auntie, I will never forget your class, and thank you for teaching me the values that I will keep with me for the rest of my life. In addition to Vedic, I'm honored to have been part of Kathak at YICG. For me, Kathak at YICG is time where I can just completely forget all the responsibilities and worries running around in my mind and just focus on the music and dance. The Kathak students and teachers at YICG have really become my second family. I've grown up with all the talented and beautiful girls that I've danced with now for 12 years. It's been a long ride, and with all of you, I've learned about teamwork and the importance of becoming one on stage. Those moments backstage when we all just stare at each other, hold hands, and hope that we just don't mess this one up are really the best moments at YICG because we're all just so united and together. I must thank my two role models, Urishi Didi and Hannah Didi. Thank you, well, for putting up with me, but also making me a confident dancer, pushing me, and always encouraging me to do better. I hope to be as graceful dancers as both of you are, but most importantly, as dedicated and hardworking students as both of you are, working countless hours helping Guruji every Saturday. And thank you so much for unconditionally supporting me in all my dreams and goals. And of course, I must thank my inspiration and the reason why I dance, my Guruji. A part of my passion in Kathak developed just by watching Guruji teach. Watching him love and have passion for Kathak and wanting to preserve Kathak culture, and also teaching his students the values that Kathak dance holds. Guruji has worked so hard to spread Kathak dance all over the world, and I'm truly blessed and privileged to be one of his students. I have always admired how humble and kind-hearted he is, and I hope to only make him proud, to always be his student, as well as hopefully being part of spreading Kathak dance for future generations to come. Finally, I can't leave without talking about Rati Auntie's famous public speaking classes. I still remember when I was younger how much I looked forward to going to these classes every Monday because it was only filled with laughter and smiles. And when I was younger, I forget about speaking. I couldn't even stand in front of a big audience. And I don't know how, through all these skits and just giggles, Rati Auntie changed me into becoming a better speaker and a more confident speaker. I still remember Rati Auntie would always say that no matter what we do in life, no matter where we are, we will always need our public speaking skills. And okay, although I may have just nodded my head back then, now looking back through those high school years, through all my passions, whether it was presenting in science research or organizing fundraisers, the little that I've achieved so far was only because of Rati Auntie, only because of her skills and all that she's taught me throughout these years. So thank you, Rati Auntie, for everything and for making me the more confident person I am today. Thank you to all the faculty and teachers at YICG for working so hard every Saturday, and I will truly miss walking down those halls, smiling at all the aunties, uncles, and amazing friends I've made along the way. Thank you.
My name is Kuver, and I have the honor of introducing my sister, Sada Nagar. She started attending YICG in the first grade and has been part of the Bharatanatyam program for 11 years, and she's enjoyed every second of it. I have fond memories of me playing tabla while she practiced Bharatanatyam, and of course doing our Hindi homework together much earlier on. For Saiba, Saturday classes were a major part of her week, and of course, something that she looked forward to every single week. She was ecstatic to learn new things and take part in the community, and she found her place there. Her teachers, as well as her classmates, inspired her to do better and improve her skills all along the way. She described it as a supportive but a competitive environment, one where everyone aimed to be better, but could rely on each other when they needed to. Now, instead of me explaining her entire experience, I think it's best that you hear it straight from her.
Thank you, Baya, for that introduction. That's the nicest I've ever heard you talk about me. I remember being in first grade about 12 years ago, with my mom getting a phone call from my best friend's mom, asking me about joining a dance class. I had little to no idea what this dance class consisted of, but all I knew is that I was beyond excited to be a part of something like it for the first time. So I said yes. A week or two later, I remember walking through the school, wondering how I would be able to find each class each week because of how big it seemed. After turning into and around many hallways, being greeted by warm smiles and many welcomes, my mom finally told me that we were there. I walked through the door, taking my shoes off, and looked around to see a group of girls my age in a circle, with the teacher inviting me in. This teacher, introduced to me as Malini Auntie, started my whole dancing career that day, followed by Tatiana continuing it for the rest of the years. While I took part at my Bharatanatyam class each Saturday afternoon, my brother also joined in on the community by taking his tabla classes. After a few years of this, we also joined a Hindi class for 1 year. To this day, my mom still has us keeping our notes in our desks. Bharatanatyam class in the YICG community has taught me so much through the years. First off, I'm glad I started so young, because otherwise I'm sure I would have developed 2 left feet if I didn't. The techniques, movement, and rhythm behind each dance led me to develop several skills I've taken advantage of in many different places in my life. For example, I've been dance captain of my high school shows since my freshman year. Though these types of dances are completely different in comparison to the classics of Bharatanatyam, my mom always says, it's Bharatanatyam that taught you how to move around. Along with this, I've taken up Bhangra at a studio for the past few years and have been given the honor to student teach these classes as well. Another thing that YICG and Bharatanatyam has taught me is my culture. I'm so lucky to have been exposed to my religion and culture so young in my life, because it is something I have and will hold close to me past my graduation. That being said, graduating and reaching the end of this phase of my life does not mean that it's the end of my learning. Next year, I'm beyond proud to say that I will be attending Seton Hall University in New Jersey, pursuing a major in nursing and a minor in theater. As I was researching my college and looking into clubs and extracurriculars, I couldn't help but to be pulled towards my choice of Seton Hall by seeing the presence and abundance of cultural organizations and clubs there. To my knowledge and research I've done, there are about 3 Asian and Indian organizations that I am excited to delve deeper into in this fall. Of course, this will not nearly fill the void of not being at YICG every weekend, but I will certainly try my best. Thank you to every member, leader, and teacher at YICG for making my time here as memorable as it is. As I said before, I will always hold the memories and lessons I've learned here close to my heart and in my mind. Thank you.
And befriended many smart individuals. Though one of the smartest by far that I've met to date is the person I'm introducing today. He joined YICG in the 2nd grade and has since taken Veda classes and has participated in Games for Seva since its inception. In YICG, he has volunteered in the younger grades Veda classes and for the National Honor Society, has volunteered at math tournaments and various other events. On top of all that, plus his extreme academics, he has managed to be an ISEF finalist twice, an extraordinary accomplishment that few are capable of achieving. He succeeded at twice. Rice University is beyond lucky to have him as he studies biology on a pre-med track. There are a lot of adjectives people can use to describe one another, though for this person, the ones I believe that I believe most fit him are amazing, brilliant, and collected. And while these adjectives may be used quite often, I believe he epitomizes these terms and their meanings. It is with great honor that I'm able to introduce my very good friend, Suchir Mishra.
Thanks, Vishy. I still remember walking into my first ever Vedic class as like a nervous and shy 2nd grader. Despite not knowing anyone there at the time, I was immediately hooked into the class as we learned about the Mahabharata. As the years went on, YICG became an integral part of my weekend routine, and for many years I desperately tried to avoid missing classes and attend as often as possible. I was first hooked into YICG because of the subject matter, as I'd always been interested in mythology. When I was younger, whenever I got the chance, I used to pick up a mythology book and just read it, so formally learning it in a classroom setting naturally attracted me. However, once I became older, YICG took on another meaning to me once I began to participate in Games for Seva. I'm proud to say that I've been a part of Games for Seva since its inception, and even the initial concept of creating games related to our curriculum intrigued me. At first, I wasn't sure how these games would even take shape, but almost everything we've created has served its purpose well. From the early days of playtesting Karna's Karma to the most recent game I worked on, Chanakyax, I've always enjoyed participating in Games for Seva. Games for Seva soon became completely interwoven with our entire Vedic 6 class, and no matter what topic we covered that week, we were always coming up with new ways to create a game about it. Despite all YICG being such a big part of my life for all these years, it wasn't until last year that I really had my most meaningful experiences at YICG. Last year, I volunteered in Vidyanti's Vedic 3 class as a teacher's assistant. Each week, the kids would sit diligently listening to a mythological story, but the real excitement came in the last 15 to 20 minutes of class when they were allowed to play games. The first week I went to volunteer, I remember being somewhat shocked when the games that the kids began to play were our games that we had created. Memory Maya, in particular, was a huge hit with the kids, and their joy while playing the games was priceless. It was at that moment that I truly realized the usefulness of the games that we had created. Even though they might not, like the kids might not have learned what words like ahimsa meant from playing the game as we initially intended, just the enjoyment they had from playing the whole game made the whole project worth it. As I move on from YICG and New York as a whole, I can definitely say that everything I've gotten out of YICG will stay with me for life. Whether it's the sense of pride in my culture and heritage that were instilled in me or the friendships I've made, I'll never forget my years at YICG. I want to thank all my teachers, specifically Rati Auntie and Madhu Auntie, and I'll definitely look to stay in contact with everyone and come back and visit whenever I get the chance. Thank you.
Okay. I want to start by saying that I would have been hysterically crying if I was introducing Tulsi in person. Tulsi, we've had many crazy adventures and memories, such as you sitting on a pot, photo shoots after class at YICG, TikToks during our food breaks at Games for Seva, and more. I've known Tulsi for more than 15 years of my life. We would always do the same activities together. In fact, I wouldn't even have joined YICG if it wasn't for her. YICG brought us closer as we would always see each other. Tulsi has been by my side for everything. It doesn't matter what time it is, I know that I can always count on her to help me. Tulsi has accomplished so much throughout school, and I know that she's going to accomplish so much through her med program at NSU and in life. She has one of the biggest hearts and somehow becomes friends with every single person on this earth. I'm so glad that I can call Tulsi one of my best friends. We have had so many sleepovers together talking about our future. As little girls, we imagined middle and high school, and now even college. Remember when we would pretend to be sisters when we went to the park and almost everywhere? Imagine if we worked together at a hospital. We would probably keep talking and forget about saving the patient's life. I'm gonna miss you so much during college, but I know that I can always count on you, even when we are 1,295 miles apart. Meeting you and becoming friends with you is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I love you. That's
Oh, that was so sweet. I'm gonna miss you too. Okay, hi. I've been coming to YCG since I was 5 years old, and it's had a huge impact on me as a person and helped me develop in so many different ways. I just want to thank my parents for bringing me here because if they hadn't, I would have missed out on some of the best moments of my life. YCG's really helped me connect more to my Indian culture because in Manhasset, there aren't that many Indian people, and coming to a place every Saturday where there are so many kids I could just talk to and relate to differently than my school friends was so nice. I made so many lifelong friends at YCG and made so many memories that I would never forget. Every Saturday, I was always excited to walk into any class I was taking, whether it be Hindi or Vedic. I always had a smile on my face and was ready to learn about something new. I've been taking Vedic classes since I was 5, and I'm still taking them to this day with Bharti Auntie. And over time, I've learned so much more about the Gita and Mahabharata and learned so many things that I wouldn't have learned if I hadn't started coming here. These Vedic classes really helped me learn different philosophies, and a lot of the things I learned in these classes really helped me in the outside world as well. For example, in Rathianti's class, we learned that meditation helps when you're stressed. And although during her classes, we would always laugh during the meditations, I started realizing recently that they're actually really helpful and take off stress from people. I would like to thank all of my Vedic teachers through the years for putting up with me constantly talking and being loud. I want to thank Chitra Auntie, Jayanti Auntie, Sheetal Auntie, Madhu Auntie, Raji Auntie, and Rati Auntie. And of course, there's Games for Seva, which I'm so happy to have been a part of. The organization is so unique, and the concept of making games was so fun, and I enjoyed every moment of it. The AVG Games for Seva camp was a time I will never forget, and definitely one of the best moments of my life. The lack of sleep we got from the late nights in Mafia and laughing about nothing, I will never forget. That experience was so fun and taught me so much about collaboration and creativity. I also started my Hindi classes when I was really young, and I went through different levels of conversation. And I wasn't always the best, but the teachers were patient with me and tried to help me improve on my skills. I'd like to thank Vasundhara Auntie and Anjali Auntie for being incredible Hindi teachers. For the past 4 years, I've been volunteering at Hindi classes with Vasundhara Auntie, and every year I'm always so excited to get to know the little kids because they're also always so cute and eager to learn about Hindi, which is something that I remember when I was a kid. I was also eager to learn. It is amazing that I can see the little kids' friendships blossoming the way all of ours did when we first started coming to YICG. Some of my closest friends were made here because I've known these people since I was so little and grown up from them. And it's amazing how we all come together from our busy schedules to YICG. And it's really sad that we haven't been able to be doing that because of Corona, but because I'm going to be missing these memories a lot in the fall. Some of my best memories were made here, whether it be yelled at by teachers for talking too much or laughing too much, which was a frequent problem, or running around the halls of YCG playing tag or going on adventures after class. I can go on and on about the things I will miss when I'm going to be leaving, but I want to say thank you again for all the people and teachers who made my experience at YCG incredible and worthwhile. I'm so proud of how far all of us have come, and I'm excited to see what everyone does in the future.
So I've met a lot of fantastic and incredible people at YICG and in my life. And my friend Vichy is definitely one of the best people I've met. I remember meeting Vichy in first grade and seriously doubting that he was my age because he was and still is double my height. Vichy was one of my first friends in this community. And in a way that was kind of bad for everyone else because he set the bar way too high. Vichy is compassionate in a way that I strive to be, and he has this aura around him. I don't know what it is, but he can lighten everyone's mood. He has the ability to assess a situation and figure out a solution, and after years of doing projects together, I can confidently say I have no idea what I'm going to do without you. Vichy, I can say without a doubt in my mind that you're not only going to succeed, but thrive at whatever you do. I just want to share one more thing about Vichy. He is one of the bravest and most persistent people I know. When he sets his mind on something, he can move mountains. And as he joins the army in the upcoming year, I know he knows and remembers how thankful I am and everyone is that he is protecting us. I love you, man.
Hey man, I love you too. So last week, I think we were talking about the speeches here, and I asked a question about what we're supposed to talk about, and someone said we were going to talk about what YCG has meant to us. So here I go. So what has YCG meant to me? I've been in YCG for over a decade now, starting in the first grade, which is longer than my life so far. And over this period of time, I've learned some things, not only from the classes that I've taken, though also from the people in YCG. Whether it be from the teachers teaching the classes, the parents, or other kids like me, I've learned a lot. From the people, I've learned many life lessons, received lots of advice, and have grown as a person from these interactions. And from that, I believe that one of the many gifts that YCG offers to its pupils and its members is that of socialization. YCG is a place of learning and of interaction where people can freely gather to discuss, to learn, to play, and to do many other things with many other people. This ability has been extraordinarily impactful on my life and the lives of all others in this organization. From the classes, we've all learned numerous values and lessons portrayed through the historic stories that we've discussed. These lessons provide us morals and values to live by. These are vital assets that guide us and show us how we can do better in life, to be a better person for ourselves and for others. This is another gift that YCG offers us, the education it provides for us. Through YCG, we learn a lot, and we talk to a lot of people. We do many things, many different activities and whatnot. But I think that the biggest gift that YCG gives to us is how it reflects upon us and our identities. To me, the biggest gift YCG has to offer is the identity it provides to us. The Young Indian Cultural Group, where we learn about our culture, but also discuss it, witness it, and experience it firsthand, allows for us young Indians to immerse ourselves in our heritage, our culture, and learn from it and embrace it as part of us. While we aren't in India or necessarily Indian citizens, we're all Indians, and we're also all Americans. As such, we experience the cultural diversity of being an American, especially as a New Yorker living nearby the melting pot of the world. YCG gives us the opportunity to experience our own culture, our own heritage in a safe environment, surrounded by our peers looking to learn and from adults willing to share. To me, YCG has been a safe space of learning, friendship, and heritage. and has had a lasting impact on me and what comes for my future. Finally, I'd like to thank Shanti Auntie, Raji Auntie, Madhu Auntie, Rati Auntie, and the late Nataraj Mama for and all other teachers for teaching me and my peers throughout the years. Thank you.
More sheer commitment to YICG than Yash does. Your search is probably impossible. Yash has been at YICG since first grade, he's been there for 12 years. I don't think he's missed many classes at all during that entire span. Even as we've gotten older and things got busier, every week when I came to class, I was always reassured that Yash would be there and I'd have some company. When I came in for the President's Award ceremony this past December, Yash asked me to come to more classes the year went on to keep him company. It amazed me that even during the first semester of senior year, which is arguably the most stressful time in a high schooler's life, Yash is still religiously coming to class and showing his commitment to YICG. I told him I would definitely do so after I finished submitting college applications, but I'm sorry to say I did not keep that promise. Other than being incredibly dedicated to YICG, Yash is one of the nicest and kindest people I've ever met. Chatting with him in the back of the Vedic classroom always made Vedic class an even more enjoyable experience than it already was. I'm sure Yash will be incredibly successful in college and life, and I'm really glad to have met him here at YICG.
Thank you, buddy. I don't know how to respond to that. Really, it's beautiful. Thank you. Vedic has been a fundamental part of my life and one of the reasons I am the way I am, craziness and all. I started YICG when I was very young, and I remember in first grade, my mom told me one Saturday that we were going to go get ice cream. The next thing I know, I'm walking up to a school on a Saturday afternoon, the last place I wanted to be on a Saturday afternoon. But nonetheless, that was the day I was first introduced to YICG, Vedic class, and all the incredible people that form this beautiful community. When I was younger, and bear with me, it gets better, I was not thrilled about going to YICG. I was very introverted and did not really interact with the rest of the class. I talked to people only when forced to, and because of the way I was not really able to enjoy these classes and everything YICG was able to offer. And finally, I had Raji Auntie, and she helped me get out of my bubble. I'm not sure what she saw in me, but I'm glad she did. She taught me how to go through life with a new confidence and energy. Rati Auntie also helped me expand my bubble by making me see the real world applications of the Gita and the importance and happiness of seva. I also want to thank Madhu Auntie for her dedication to YICG and making my experience out of class even better. She made me go help out and unintentionally made me realize how much I love to do it. My school district has a very large Indian population, but unlike YICG, it is very disoriented and they're like small factions. Being part of YICG allows me to feel like part of something bigger. Even though I'm graduating, I will take the skills, experiences, relationships, and the lessons I have learned with me wherever I go and hope to be able to pass them on to others. I may be leaving now, but I'll never leave this community, and this community will always be a major part of my life, just like the meditations that I always slept through.
Introducing someone who is very close to my heart. When I first entered Rati Auntie's class, I saw this girl sitting in the middle of the room, of course, always looking fashionably dressed. And I decided to sit next to her that day. And well, that's how my amazing friendship started with Yukta, right in Rati Auntie's class. Besides being a fashion icon, Yukta is absolutely the most charming and optimistic person I've ever met. She is the type of friend that will constantly compliment you and always make you feel so special. She always supports others and constantly goes out of her way to help others whenever she can. Yukta is extremely brilliant and will always be driven to do her best in all that she does. If you know Yukta, she's an absolute perfectionist, which is why she needs to make everything absolutely perfect and why she's an absolute legend when it comes to research competitions, with her fascinating projects and her mind-blowing presentation skills. Thank you, Yukta, for being such a supportive friend, for being someone I could always count on, and for supporting me blindly through all my dreams and through all my goals. With your hard work and great ambition, I just can't wait to see all the amazing things you're going to do at Binghamton University. Miss you so much, Yukta.
Miss you too. So my experience at YICG is actually a lot different than a lot of the people who've spoken today, because when I first joined, I was in 8th grade. And I joined so late that I was just genuinely terrified that it would be awkward because everybody would have friends and I wouldn't, and then I would be the weird one. But that wasn't even close to the case. I met so many great people, especially Sachita, who introduced me to all of the great girls in the Vedic class, and they all had the kindness to welcome me into their friend group. YICG gave me a place to fit into my culture, people like me, which even though my school has a pretty good Indian population, I never felt there. So I've never had that before, and I don't know what I would have been able to do without it, because I don't think I would have ever been so comfortable in my culture without YICG. I came for shlokas and Vedic classes from 8th grade, and learning prayers with Tata was my favorite part of the week. But when he passed away, I didn't know if I could bear to come back to YICG. And the only reason that I kept coming was to see my friends, because I knew that they wanted me there and I missed seeing them every weekend. And I'm so glad that I did, because the teachers at YICG have taught me so much, and I know my place in my culture now, and I thought that I never would, because I wasn't sure how I fit into being American, but also being Indian, and trying to not be the most Indian person, but also accepting myself. And I've just made some of my greatest friendships here, and we've done so much stuff in and out of YICG. And Rati Auntie, thank you so much for dealing with me. I know I'm like the least consistent person, but I promise I listen to everything that you say, and I respect everything that you taught me, and I'm going to take those lessons forward in my life. Even when Sachita and I were trying to communicate across a room by just making weird facial expressions, it was I always knew what you were trying to say was important, even though I might not have shown it at the moment. And I'm so, so sorry for all of the seniors and all of the students this year who didn't get to experience their last day as they intended. But I'm sure that all of us will be back next year to have a proper goodbye. And even though I have not been here the longest, the effect that YICG has had on me is still profound, and I'm extremely grateful to all the teachers who took the time out of their day to teach us and care about us, even when we didn't really deserve it. Thank you.
This is amazing speeches. We got to hear your pure voices, and what's amazing is the time. My goodness, we are completely on schedule. you know, we've talked a lot about meditation, and we will end very shortly. First, just to, again, some more housekeeping. Want to thank Tarangini for compiling all the songs that each one of the Vedic 6 students, of course, we created a giant spreadsheet. You know, I'm very attached to spreadsheets. And then that went into a Spotify list, which Tarangini put together. So I want to thank her. And the other thing is, I was wondering, what digital gift can I give you all? And so I came up with one thing. It's actually a new meditation I've invented today. I'm calling it the 1 hour click. We have never done this before, and this is how it would run. We're not going to do it. It's just, I'm going to describe what it is. So if there's something that's really bothering you, or you're agitated, or you're just going crazy, just stop and ask yourself, is this a real issue? Most probably the answer is going to be yes, yes, this is a terrible, terrible issue. At that point, you bring out your phone immediately and put a timer for 1 hour. That's why it's called a 1 hour click. You put a timer on for 1 hour, and then you go about your life. You're not going to think about it for the 1 hour. And then when the timer goes off, make sure the sound is, one of those big sounds, not some sweet little sonata or whatever, some big thing that wakes you up. And then at that point, 1 hour later, you ask yourself, was that really a big issue? It's very likely the answer is going to be yes, it's a terrible, terrible issue. So for the first 24 hours, do a 1 hour click. And the next 24 hours, do a 2 hour click, meaning the time you give yourself is 2 hours. And then after the 48 hours that have passed, if it's still a real, real issue, if your answer is it's a real, real issue, then figure it out. So I thought that would be a nice meditation. Question you'll ask yourself every hour on the hour, and then every 2 hours on the 2 hour mark is this a real issue? So that to me sounds like a good plan for the days ahead. And before we conclude, I thought I'd unmute everybody and as I mentioned earlier, some of you may not have heard, is I have got these predictions on where you're going to be 10 years from now. And I'm hearing you all speak today, and I honestly, I think I'm totally on the money here. So when you read, just let me know if my predictions sound like on the right track. This is an amazing graduating class because you've all given so much back to YICG and to the community. This is a unique class, each and every one of you. We run Gita Vicara now. This is the 20th year of Gita Vicara. 20 years of graduates. Before that, they were developing, right? So this truly is a unique year. And you've been with us in so many capacities. And we will treasure our time that we've had with you. And I suspect you will be in part of our life in different ways down the road too, you know. Relationships are meant to not be cut permanently. They're meant to be morphed or transform into something else. You know, they're meant to transform into maybe the essence of it. That is the most healthy way of living. This idea that we just go off somewhere and then we become some career track and lose all connections is actually a false model. So I think we will be connected.